And a gracious good morning to you, my dears, in YouTube land. I am standing in Ellis Lake, around Ellis Lake, in downtown Marysville. And I'm showing what should be quite pastoral as a scene. This poor goose who limps along at Ellis Lake. Now, my dears, allow that to serve as a metaphor for what you will see from this point out. Of late, there has been much talk about the horrid conditions at Ellis Lake. If you're hoping that this old geezer has come upon dead or dying ducks, fortunately, that is not the case today. But what you will see will no doubt dismay you. Here we have rubbish which has been tossed about at Ellis Lake. I don't know whether you can see, but the water in the lake is quite nasty looking. And in walking about, and one does not have to walk any great distance, there you have some stockings that somebody has decided to leave as a souvenir of his visit. You'll also notice that there be quite a few geese, a gaggle of geese all over the place, and what appear to be healthy ducks catching a little bit of sun. But you'll also notice, I think, on the pavement that there is an enormous amount of poo. Now, in an article read recently in the Appeal Democrat, Mr. Lehman, who's in charge of these things, says that part of the problem of the dead and dying ducks is that there's no place for the poo to go. Well, I have a newsflash for Mr. Lehman. The poo is not necessarily contained in the bleeding lake. We'll switch over here. Truth be told, it is quite lovely to see all of the ducks and geese floating about, squawking endlessly. But one has to wonder, if you look a little bit closer, at just how nasty Ellis Lake has become. This is along the shore line, and as you can see, it is loaded with rubbish. Discarded soft drink containers, bits and bobs, and I doubt that the camera is really going to give a great look at this, but there's kind of a film that floats on top of this rather nasty looking water. When I first came onto the scene this morning, I came upon a young chap who, along with his son, were fishing in the lake. Can you believe? Fishing in Ellis Lake. And I had to stop and ask if he had heard all of the stories. And the young chap said to me, I have no desire to be on YouTube, so I won't talk to you on camera, but I've lived here almost the whole of my life. And I can remember when I was about the age of my son who's with, that the water in the lake was quite clear. And it was beautiful. And there were fun times to be had by one and all. I asked him what on earth he was capturing in the lake. And he told me and showed me that he had small bass and another variety of fish called
bluegill.
Bluegill. And I asked what on earth he was going to do with the small fishes that he had captured. And he said, I'm going to use them as bait. And I said, why on earth would you use bait from a lake that contains botulism or other diseases that might poison your catch? And he said, oh, well, they're just going to be lured in by the bait, and then I'll throw them away and I'll eat the fishies. Trust me, I would never eat anything out of Ellis Lake. Clever chap. So there you have it, my dears. What could be absolutely brilliant in Marysville, California, a truly magnificent part of Marysville gold, allowed to become tarnished, very tarnished. Tarnished because elected officials and contract employees at City Hall will let all of us know that there'd be no coin in the purse, and because there be no coin in the purse, they cannot take care of what is truly Marysville gold. How daft, how absolutely daft would that be? So there you be, a small walk around what could be Marysville's truly magnificent calling card to the world at large. A lake that could provide for visitor and resident alike a refuge of peace and tranquility instead of becoming the local Dead Sea. If truth is told in reports that have been read, as many as 70 ducks have expired from the disease that they caught in this lake. There you have it, my dears. Another report from this old geezer in his never-ending quest to capture what's truly gold in Marysville. Sadly, I have to report about what was once golden that is now much tarnished. You have a brilliant day, and think on it. Think hard on it. Why would we not preserve that which is the best of us and allow it to fall in disrepair? You have to wonder. Another film bit from this old geezer in historic Marysville, California. You have a brilliant day. Cheers.